Good morning, all. Coffee today, strong coffee. As you all may know, it was kind of a full moon last night, and the build up to it. It manifested in me as the desire to eat about 200 grams of Stilton cheese. And expecting freaky weird dreams, I didn't. Can't really remember what I dreamt about last night, but I didn't have freaky weird dreams. But we've still got tonight to go as well. There was a blood moon as well. Very interesting. Couldn't see it. Too foggy, too misty. Shame. But, sometimes you can't. But even though if you can't see a thing, you can still get the effects from it. I'm sitting forward to try and keep the reflection out of my glasses, but it's not working, so I can sit back or tilt my head or whatever. But if I sit normally, you get these little white windows here. Anyway. And I'm still doing this on my phone because I can't suss the camera out on the big computer at the moment. It's just coming out very blurred, and it was working, and then the microphone didn't work, and da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Technology, eh? Ooh, technology. So yeah, so what's happening on the Twitters today? Let's have a look. There's a very interesting podcast about cultural Marxism and all sorts, and the digital echo chamber. How Twitter, you can, if you want, you can just obviously change all your followers and all that, and just follow people who agree with you. So it's just like a big ego massage. Everything you tweet, everyone's going to go, yay, when we like that, which I don't use it for that. So I use it for a news resource mainly, because you sort of get what's trending, in the UK, which is Nick Knowles replaced on BBC DIY SOS after breaking the rules by Rod Gilbert. So, it's news, but it's hardly it's Black Friday today. Yeah, Amazon Black Friday. Trending. Pam and Tommy first trailer. Lily James and Sebastian Stan's epic transformation finally unveiled. Let's have a look at that. Motley Crue. Even as a heavy metal kid, would you have ever thought that Motley Crue will be the subject of now a second film about them? I mean, I've seen The Dirt on Netflix. There's this sort of weird, I don't know. It's very bizarre that a average rock band who hardly ever played the UK, it's just, there's better bands to make films and documentaries about. So what are they making it about? They're making it about their infamy, their exploits. Well, that's serving, that's tabloid fodder, isn't it? And that's the thing. It's something I talk about as well on one of my podcasts, on the Perfumo podcast. Tabloid fodder. To the best of my knowledge and research, the Perfumo affair was the first example that I can find where the newspapers built somebody up and knocked them down, and built somebody up and knocked them down, and made them into a celebrity, and then when they'd had their fun, tossed them to the side and all the rest of it. But it was a newspaper-driven event, and it was the salaciousness of it all, the gossip, the dirt, to go back to Motley Crue. So the Perfumo affair and Motley Crue have something in common. This weird 6 degrees of separation. And is it acceptable to it seems to be becoming acceptable to vicariously experience all of this salaciousness apparently in the Perfume, I mean, I wasn't around then, but apparently when the newspapers were publishing stuff about the Perfumo affair, they say they couldn't get enough of it. People just could not get enough of reading about this. And that is, that's human nature, we know, but it's also a bit like, again, it's the whole circus and celebrity and carnival thing. And I think carnival is probably carnival. It's probably, if you're looking for the correct noun to describe it, you go to somewhere and you look at something that is slightly twisted and freaky, the Victorian freak shows with the bearded lady and, and all of that, the whole film, The Greatest Showman, is about that, about all these people exhibited for their difference. It's hard to talk about a subject trying to use politically correct language, really. And people go and look at them and see, and we've done it as well. We went and saw the Circus of Horrors before lockdown. It was absolutely fantastic. Now maybe that's a slightly different example because they're skilled performers in the Circus of Horrors. They're not just standing there being gawked at. They're doing something. And like the Sword Swallower, you can, you're looking at the danger and sort of experiencing that danger second hand or just removed from it. The trapeze artist, when she came out on the trapeze and held by her hair in like a top knot and a big thing, and then sort of swung over the crowd, my stomach went and lurched just watching her. But I have a bit of a thing about heights. I can manage heights, I can do heights, but just to see somebody doing that, you just like, whoop, you sort of had an emotional response in sympathy, and that was the whole of the Elephant Man, being gawked at by people and all of that, all in the name, of medical. It was medical students, but it became more than that. It became like a circus attraction, or it was a circus attraction first, and then became, but he was still being looked at by medical students as well. It's voyeurism is a funny thing, isn't it? Voyeurism is a really funny thing. We all indulge in it in some way, and now we're going to be voyeuristic about the life of these people. I don't know if Pam and Tommy think Pam and Tommy is more about Pam and Tommy than Mötley Crüe, but I don't know much about it yet. But we're going to be voyeuristic about this rock band that I followed. I had the albums, 30 years ago. And everyone was looking at them. What you listening to? People were a bit sneery and scoffy about it, and now like the Dirt was quite well received and things like that, It's like the whole shock rock thing as well. It's like Alice Cooper. Now, he came from Laurel Canyon, and he was mates with Frank Zappa and all the rest of it. But in the 70s, he was like... The Great Moral Panic was about Alice Cooper because he wore a top hat and a bit of black makeup and, sang about Only Women Bleed and School's Out and all the rest of it. And then the next thing, nowadays Alice Cooper is presenting shows on the radio. He plays golf. He has allegedly he has a house in South Wales because there's some good golf courses around here, and his drug of choice seems to be golf now, not alcohol. He's still churning out the records, he's still churning out the hits, but he's sort of, he must be in his 70s by now. And that torch was passed on to Marilyn Manson, I suppose, in the 90s. In the 80s, everybody. I suppose in the 80s it was Judas Priest and all that satanic panic and backmasking and all that sort of stuff, which I can talk about, but not now. I suppose like the one figure of revile was Marilyn Manson, who now has kind of dropped out of the public eye because it's come out, women have accused him of doing some pretty unsavoury things, as far as I know, and things like that. So yeah, but there's always one. But what is shocking to one generation is been accepted to the next. I mean, I suppose these films, these rock star films, will make me... It's like when you see kids wearing Nirvana t-shirts and all that, and it's like, you weren't there. You shouldn't, and it's sort of a bit of gatekeepery and exclusive to turn around and say, well, you can't wear a Nirvana t-shirt if you didn't listen to Nirvana. I'm not going to be that sort of gatekeeper and all that. And if they like the music, and if they got, I suppose now people are listening to the parents' music collections for Nirvana and stuff like that. But it's when a t-shirt from a band becomes adopted as a fashion statement, that's when it gets my goat. When people who've got no interest in the music but like the designs on the t-shirts. Yeah. But, anyhow. Anyway, today was just a ramble. I've rambled on here, there and everywhere. It's been quite a nice one instead of sticking to one subject. So for now, peace out, and I will speak to you soon.